Hi, talking about Terrence Malick's film, the style developed over the last 10 or so years has been very, what people would say, um, eclectic, very far from tradition, and vague and hard to understand. How he articulates his style in his film is very obvious, and you can just tell a clip that is directed by Terrence Malick the second you see them. Well, the wide angle lens, the free moving camera, and everything, and the voice over. That's what's so gridded into his film, and and so it's really hard to understand. And his film in general, his main idea is to, what people say, trying to find the truth, and he doing that by asking questions. Well, instead of answering questions like most film do, his film's premise is not gonna be anything like, oh, love is attention or anything like that, because those are trying to ask questions. Because if you're trying to go into the depth of the thought as he is in, um, those questions are unanswerable. So I can only go there by following his route and ask the same questions, and to while asking you'll discover something new, and that is, I think, what Terrence Malick is trying to incorporate in his films. Um, to understand his film, essentially, I think it's important to understand how what he's thinking when he's making this film. If you watched any of his collaborators' interview before, they will say they either love the way he makes the film, or they either hate it so much or never want to collaborate with him again, because for every movie he has like hundreds of clips, hundreds of hours of footage that he's filmed, but he's only making a 2 or 3 hours film out of it. So that means every clip that is finalized into the film is essential, even though it doesn't seem like it. Everything look like fragments in his film, but everything is essential and meant to be there, essentially. So he does a lot of work in his edit. That's how I often describe it as like music too. How he articulate, and his phrasing is what you need to understand to follow him. When it's like, imagine how he made the film, how he phrased it, how he think it through when he was making it. And sorry, my phone just died. But yes, we're talking about fragments, how his film is composed of little fragments, and composing a big picture. Essentially, going through his film is like going through a character's life, and going through different things and realizing on themselves with their internal voice. And you see how his camera is always moving around, as with a huge wide angle, I don't know, I think it was 9mm lenses, just moving around without any motivation. If you study film or know films, the camera should not be moving around like that. It should have a motivation, like, okay, the character is moving over there, so your camera should probably go with it, or having a motivation to move the camera. But he just takes you through a different perspective, and he loves those details. It's very interesting, and that's one of his way of style, his way of articulating the story, and comparing his film and framing and composition, cinematography. I think the complete opposite of him will be Wes Anderson, because in Wes Anderson's film, he has everything staged, manipulated. All the characters are manipulated and composed exactly the way he wants to be, and but in Terrence Malick's case, he does everything just right at the moment. It's just life, you know. It's just life with coincidence, full of coincidence and fragments, and I think in that way, you also, I mean, you also can go very much profoundly deep into your thoughts in that way, because anything, I guess, anything out of tradition, I just love it. But and I find his film very relaxing sometimes. Like when I'm so tired of, I don't know, doing Latin homework, doing like composing stuff, and I just watch a few minutes of his film and I feel so relieved to connect with him in some ways, and it's very inspiring too. I really want to make something so um, that's replica, like that's a replica of his film essentially. You know, people even like, you know, Chloe Zhao. She's the new Oscar-winning director. She said Terrence Malick's work have influenced her greatly on the Nomad's Land, and yeah, I someday want to make something like that. But I think it's really hard though, to have people improvise and show their deepest thoughts and act it out as actors. You know, that's very hard for actors, of course, but also very hard for people to show their, you know, themselves to just directly to the camera. That's also part of Malick's acting and his way of using the articulating the film. So I think that's it. That's all I want to say. I'm very inspired by him, so I wanted to share with if there is anyone out there. So yeah, bye.